And it feels good to see like your former employer burn in irrelevance. Have to let niggas fuck his wife now and all types of shit, right? Don't that feel good?
Hey, it feels great. I mean, hey,
it feels good. Gotta feel. You don't want your former employer to start rocking when y'all leave. You want to see some failure, and you got to see it. Yeah. You got to see some failure, man.
You kind of would want that.
I wouldn't even say failure, though. I say like a misdirection, and now he's pivoting into something else. You know what I'm saying?
You want to feel like your loss is felt. I'm not trying to be funny neither. Like, yo, I meant something here. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to know that I meant something here. You ain't just smooth sailing with our absence.
See, but I'm one of them people, like, if I ever fucked with you, I ain't got to fuck with you no more, but I ain't going to wish you no bad.
I don't wish no ill will neither.
Yeah,
like,
so I'm like, you could rock, even if you hit 70 million views next month, to me, it's still not going to be the same, you know what I'm saying, when you got a genuine person that got your back.
Oh, man, clap it up
Real
for niggas
shit,
being
you know
realer than me.
Yes.
Nigga is realer than I. I'll tell
That's
you
just how I'm wired, though. You know what I mean? If I see them getting jumped right now, I help them, and I'll be like, you bitch ass nigga, now go back. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am.
Yeah, that's fire, though.
You know them niggas would have never jumped you if I was there, nigga. I'm gonna help you, sucker ass, but they wouldn't have jumped you if I was there. See,
Which one of y'all felt the most hurt over the whole ordeal?
Probably me.
I was about to say, well,
yeah,
right.
me for sure. I'm gonna say me for sure. Because, you know, from like day one, everybody was just telling me, like, that's not your friend. Remember that? And I was looking at it more like, this my homeboy, man. He helped change my life, helped me move to a new direction and shit. And I was, you know, every time somebody said some culture vulture thing, anytime somebody said something bad, I was ready to go to war with them. Like, honestly. So I know my heart and my intentions and stuff like that. Like, that shit hurt when you feel like you lost a brother and shit like that. Like, for real, for real. And I just hate that it's like, got to be a white person, because everybody say, nigga, I told you from day one and shit. I'm like, I had to learn my lesson.
Not just one lesson.
Multiple.
Can you share some?
Just in general, when it come down to people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was raised to have compassion. Even though I come from where I come from and streets and everything like that, I always like to see the best in people, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendships and shit too. So, and what I learned now is like, you can't fuck with people's potential. You got to fuck with them for who they are at the time. And, you know, so later on, if they reach where they reach and they can, you know, you guys can be beneficial for each other, then that's when you rock with people. But too many times you look at somebody and you like, you know what? I see what you can be, but most people don't want that for themselves in general. So you just got to let them be.
The part for me that was most befuddling, he didn't have contracts on y'all.
Nah. But
I can't figure that one out for the life of me. Now, I had a lot of problems with my old crew due to contracts, but there's a contract, so there's something to fight about. Not having no contracts on none of y'all?
I think that at the time, he didn't even know what things were going to become. And by the time that shit started moving and like our own personal stuff started moving, it probably would have been disrespectful to try to give us something, you know, less than what we would be making on our own. Once we seen from the behind the scenes, like how much is actually coming in, and we getting our own ads and stuff like that too. So yeah, by that time, but I know now, oh, he ain't doing that shit no more.
Y'all started to see what was coming in behind the scenes, like
not what their not what they were making, but what we were doing on our own. So we like, okay, you know, you don't know about AdSense and you don't know about, you know, Snapchat and certain people and certain brand deals, and once you chop the clips up and you repurpose it onto other platforms and stuff, it's a lot of fucking money. You could keep re-rocking that shit a million ways and shit.
For life.
So, you know, people take it as, okay, this one episode, yeah, it may make 100, it may be 100,000 views, 200,000 views, but when you repurpose it, 20 clips, and you do all the extra shit, it's a lot of fucking money. Plus the advertisements. Until we start seeing what we was making, we like, hold up. And then when we heard it was $1 million a month, we was like, wait a minute, that make a lot of sense, and I believe that shit.
$1 million a month.
$1 million a month was what?
Well, saying like the income that was coming in.
Gotcha.
But even me, I ain't give a fuck about that $1 million a month shit. Like if I came in, I didn't come into the company looking for money. You know, they never said you about to get $1. I just wanted the opportunity. It was dope. I was like, you know, little white kids running up to me now. I like that shit. You know what I'm saying? People used to, I'm a big nigga. You know what I mean? Yeah,
It's different, yo.
It's different. So, you know, I appreciate, still to this day, appreciate the opportunity. And like I always told them from the get-go, as long as I don't feel disrespected any type of way, then I'm going to be here. I don't give a fuck what you paying me, keep it honest. The minute I feel disrespected.
Damn, that nigga dropped the ball.
So the thing with the white supremacist dude, that was like the final straw.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it honest with you. It really wasn't though, because I was one of them people that if I look at you like a friend, I'm gonna tell you about yourself.
You doing some bullshit.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what was going on. Violate called me. He was like, hey, you know who he had up in here?
Oh, so
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
man, you ratted, huh?
Yeah, Van called me and told me, and then I was like, all right, let me see. Then I did my research, and I'm like, oh yeah, that shit ain't cool. So I was like, I'm gonna go on the platform because everybody gonna ask me and shit like that. I'm like, how you feel about that? Shit, I don't fuck with it. I'm holding him accountable too. And it seems like right after that, that's when shit just.
I'll ask this question for everybody here, since everybody is a podcaster. Should there be limitations on the lengths you'll go to expand the audience?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep in mind certain sensitivities that people have based on their walk of life. So let's take Mel, because Mel's the only female here, right? So if I know something Mel has endured in her life could be traumatic, I wouldn't bring that content here for the sake of expanding the audience. You get what I'm saying? Like, Parks is the only white person here, so we joke a lot. But if Parks felt something sensitive to him, I wouldn't bring that here if I knew it would affect my man in a certain way to expand the audience.
And then I would be sad if we had to stop making our white people jokes.
No, or what I was going to say. Ask him. The first day I came here, I pulled him to the side and I asked him, I said, yo, dog, I ain't know him. So I'm like, yo, he
cool?
like, no, you good. I'm like, all right, cool.
Or if you knew something that would be a little sensitive, prior to bringing it, I would have a conversation with whoever that person may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it is something that, like you said with the Mel example, I might talk to Mel, hey, yo, you know, think about doing X, Y, Z. Are
How
you
you
cool
feel
with
about
that?
it?
How you feel?
But what if I ask Mel to stay home when I'm going to bring in the sensitive guest?
That's even worse.
That's worse.
It's worse.
That's worse.
Oh, see, we in direct conflict now.
No, because
it? No,
this
how?
is my thing.
How?
Know why?
Yeah.
Let
How
me
is
tell
that
you-
worse?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's still a brand. You are the Joe Budden podcast. You are still stamping your brand. So if you saying you trying to pivot, or not even pivot, but expand to include these people that could be harmful, rude, mean to my co-host, is still a thing, whether she here that particular day or not.
I just think it's a respect thing at that point.
So hold on, wait, tell me.
You could just say, hold on, Flip, you could just say, yo, just stay home and I'm gonna do this, and then she finds out when the rest of the world finds out.
Oh no,
that's where it becomes like a slap to the face.
That's a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's a slap to the face.
But only if you're like, it shouldn't be only Caucasian people, white people expanding their business by interviewing people that are what's
Controversial.
Controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Donahue did it all. I always go back to these shows that I watched as a kid of these people able to execute these interviews with
flawlessly.
With flawlessly without people being judged. But it comes to, you know, like if it's something with Mel, and I know Mel don't like it, when I'm doing the interview, I'm devil's advocate all the way. But
it's a little different.
It's a little different
if you run a platform with black people, mostly for black people, and you bring a Nazi on your platform. Like, that's...
So if a black man brought the Nazi on this platform, it would be different?
Yes.
To speak
Yeah.
to?
It's vastly different.
100%.
But bigger than that, it depends, because you can have an objective argument. Like Phil Donahue got, when he had on his show,
Let's talk about it.
he would bring two separate sets
Yes, he
of
would.
people.
Yes, he would.
So he would bring maybe some Black Panthers, and then over here, because they not direct opposites, maybe some Hebrew Israelites he'll bring over here, and then he'll bring a white sect over here, and he'll have them engage in dialogue. I'm not going to bring somebody up here knowing that a nice percentage of our staff, this person, if they had their chance, could potentially have them hanging up on a tree.
I don't look at it like that, but I do respect what y'all saying. I do understand. I look at it a little bit different from a content.
I'm close to you and how you
Yeah, I
feel.
don't look at it like
Yeah,
that.
I think the conversation is much needed. Like, if you're gonna have somebody like that, have representation, somebody that's
Right.
greatly suited. Because I was in the Nick Fuentes interview, and I thought that I did my research enough
You
to
did,
handle
yeah.
that.
Oh, you were there?
I failed completely. I was trying my best. I was saying shit, and it was like niggas just laughed at me. You feel me?
I didn't know you was a part
Yeah.
of the interview.
100%.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Familiar with who he was and
Yeah,
what he
you're
stood
not
for.
I wasn't equipped because I heard something he was saying like black people don't jog, and I had a problem with that. And when I was trying to explain myself, they were just like basically like, you playing the race card. This is nothing racist against this. So I was like, you know what? If I ever sit down and have a conversation with somebody, I'm gonna do my due diligence. I'm gonna do my research, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm better equipped. I can't wing it. I tried to wing that situation.
Or
So
you
the
could
Richard
just-
Spencer
I
thing,
like that.
I
Smack the
wouldn't
shit out of it.
sit down with Richard Spencer unless I knew every single fact. And I'll tell you some stuff right now too. Kanye was supposed to come
On the day with Nick?
Was supposed to come with Nick, and this was maybe a month or 2 or 3 months after that. I did research for 3 to 4 days. I probably still got the shit in my notes. I'm like, I'm gonna hit niggas with every single fact. Ain't nothing that they gonna say that's gonna be able to trump me, and I'm gonna get right to the fucking hatred. So yeah.
I think a lot of us that come from where we come from, we like to wing it. You know, I wing it a lot as well until you're in a position like that. I also
Yeah, with some controversial
I
shit.
also experienced something like that by not doing the proper research. So I get it. I get how, you know, passionate you become of doing research and, you know, being prepared for some shit like that. You have to.
It's certain topics, yo.
I don't like the laughing
No,
shit
no,
and
no.
all that shit. I'm not with all that laughing shit.
Like, it's certain topics. You know what I'm saying? It's certain topics
Yeah.
that are really uber sensitive. You feel what I'm saying? Like the race topic from somebody that is on the record as being a Nazi. Is that what he on the record as being?
Something along
Or
those
something
lines.
along those lines.
like a white
My nigga,
nationalist.
you are
White
really
nationalist, sure.
teetering.
I don't
want
want to keep it there because with the Nazi thing on a white man's platform, I do understand your point and
Whose
and
staff is
especially
80% black.
AD's
or
Yeah, I
a
get
few
what you-
percent black.
point of view. I get that. Nazi stuff aside.
Okay.
Just controversial
Figures.
They tore Charlemagne up when he went and got with
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, right? Because
I don't think
why are
that's-
you doing that?
I don't think that's bad.
His argument was people with two different opinions and POVs should be able to clash and debate them and have a conversation.
I agree.
And that's where understanding
As
comes
black
from.
podcasters, if y'all take that off the table, then how are the black podcasters to scale?
True.
No, I'm agreeing.
You're 1,000.
I agree, honey.
That was.
You're right.
I don't see anything wrong with that. It is fine for two people who have totally different ideologies to sit down and have a conversation. That's different from.
Could we interview a pedophile?
Yeah, rip that nigga up though.
Even if we ripped them up?
Could I interview a pedophile if somebody ever touched my daughters? No.
Hell no.
And that's the fine line. Because you can be objective until it affects you or it has affected you. So us being young urban black men, when we walk outside every single day, not every day, but we've been, prejudice has been
racial profiling happens to a lot of
shown
us,
to
shit
us
like
in
that.
certain arenas, and we know that we ain't doing anything to deserve it. So when you have a white dude that's sitting here saying these negative things about black people and like almost like we're less than, that's a hard thing to
hitting
be
you different.
objective.
Hey, yo,
with,
you
my
know the
nigga.
crazy shit about it is that it's
Why
very,
is that not applying
it's very tricky.
to hip hop and murderers?
It's very tricky though where we come from though. Like I remember me even speaking to Alpo, like publicly saying I interview Alpo, I want to interview Alpo, and I got a lot of backlash from niggas that raised
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
A lot of backlash online, but I stood on it. I don't agree with what Alpo did, and Rich Porter family reached out. They were extremely upset, but I don't agree. I want to know the story. I want to hear the story from him. Now, sometimes how he speaks and stuff like that, it comes from, but I'm not agreeing with him. Nigga, I'm like, that's wrong. The way my interview style was, nigga, that's wrong. You sound crazy. Demencio people from Brooklyn, they mad. I'm telling nigga, you can't do that. That's sucker shit. That's how I'm talking to him. So I thought that would be okay. Like, okay, Flip is not really, I'm not agreeing, but people look at things from a different perspective. I
they look
stood
at,
on that.
They look at it in that it's like because your platform is this,
It's not that.
You bringing this person on there, even if it is for you calling them out saying you wrong, you
still give
Give
it
them
a
a
shine.
shine.
It's not
Put the
that.
light
Yeah,
on.
but he can get a shine anywhere else. That's what I'm saying. People
So
always say
what?
you give him
So what?
See?
Let them. Where
Let
you
'em.
from and how you was raised, you got to stand on the principles that made flip. Somebody, and this is no shot, I fuck with academics. Academics don't have a street bone in his body. So leave that interview for academics to interview Alpo. You come from something different and you know how in your brain rats are supposed to be treated. So now you are going against your principles to interview a rat for some fucking ratings.
See, Ish, I'm with you kinda, cause I'm from the streets and I look at it now, but like Joe said, it's like if you want to expand your business,
True.
you gotta do things that are not that stigma of us not doing this and talking to this people and doing that.
It keeps
All
us
that
at-
shit does is hold us back.
it does.
Keeps us at a
100%.
ceiling. It keeps
But
us at-
sometimes
we
your-
hit the roof. Like,
but
nigga,
sometimes your principles, dog, are those that you gotta. And I'm not saying that with everything. I'm saying a few things. So Joe said, "Yo, the pedophile thing. It's okay to interview a pedophile." I said I couldn't interview them if my daughters had been affected
100%.
by one. Because then it's not an objective thing for me anymore. It's subjective because I've been at the mercy of them.
Yeah.
So with the black-white shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we've been at the mercy of prejudiced white
do you-
people, so it's a little
do you
different.
You know,
that-
the
do you-
platform matters too, because like
Do you-
having
do
a
you-
pedophile here, like we
Exactly.
make jokes and have a good time here. Like having a pedophile here, we can't do
You
that.
can't make no jokes.
Do you think
That's
that? Do you think that hold us back as black content creators? Media,
I think-
because like if we watch a like what's 60-second minutes,
60
you know,
minutes.
and we watch them interview murderers, nigga, they in there sitting down with motherfucker Jeffrey Dahmer talking to him or something. They just talking
I don't
to him,
mind that.
and they watching. Nobody's.
I would
Hold
take
on.
that interview too.
My audience
Yeah.
tore me apart during my Humans series just because I hadn't talked to someone black yet.
Stupid, though.
So, on this recent episode of Joe Budden on his Joe Budden podcast Patreon, it is a lot that goes down there. It's a lot of podcast beef between the co-hosts, Ice-ish, Melissa Ford, Queensfoot, Joe Budden part. I decided not to dabble in any of those things because at the end of the day, Joe has let these niggas know this is a job and I'm your boss. So, regardless of what any of them feel, they at least know the fact that Joe's their boss. So, at least he has that clear with them because he clearly did not have that clear with Rory and Maul. Now, anyway, fuck all of that. If you want any of that drama, go to Danny from the Stop. He's your go-to guy for that. Me, I'm just Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we just talk about what Savvy Mike finds interesting. Now, if you have a problem with that and don't want me coming in after I play the clip for you, then you can suck my dick or you can get off my dick. You could do either one of the two. I really personally don't care because you ain't stopping shit. I don't understand these people that come in my comment, the wild things, like it's just gonna stop me. Like it's just gonna, oh, if I say this to him, maybe it'll hurt his feelings enough. He'll just stop posting videos. No, you can suck a dick. I don't care whose dick it is. It ain't gonna be mine. It can be somebody else's. I can invite you to their Frank. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Go gobble on it for all I give a fuck because I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to. And if you can't physically stop me, then what's the point of even commenting some bullshit like that? I mean, I don't mind it because at the end of the day, I'm gonna troll off as well and we can get the jokes off for sure. But at the same time, no. You don't run shit over here, buddy. If I wanna play the clip and then talk about the clip afterwards, then that's what the fuck I'm gonna do. And that's what we're about to do right now. Yes, Joe Budden had AD on his podcast. So of course, get into Adam 22 a little bit. AD and Adam 22 are apparently beefing at the moment. Of course, they've probably had their back and forth because AD did get fired by Adam 22. But at the same time, AD also expresses that he sees Adam as a friend still. So if anything happens to Adam, he's gonna be there to have his back, but it still fuck him because he kind of did betray him. But he still feels like he owes him a little bit of loyalty, which I definitely disagree with. This white man will throw you under the bus as soon as he gets a chance to. You don't owe him any type of loyalty, AD, at all. But I don't even think I played that part of the clip. I mean, I think I played the part, if I'm not mistaken, where Joe and AD are basically saying Adam's a bitch and he's just chasing clout off his girl's pussy at the moment, which is something I've been saying for the past few weeks. But at the end of the day, Joe's the podfather, so he has more of a cemented stamp when it comes down to it. But yes, they took this opportunity to talk to AD about what he has going on, but also take a few shots at Adam. Now, Joe really hasn't violated Adam, especially with Adam just talking shit about him. Ish, I'm waiting on Ish's response, but maybe Ish might never respond because, you know, Ish plays the old mature guy on the pod that'll still shit on M4 when he gets the chance. So at the end of the day, the role he wants to play, we'll let him play it. And Ice is just there, adding nothing. I mean, nothing of substance to the conversation whatsoever. He's just agreeing with this guy or agreeing with that guy. Just depends on who he agrees with at the moment, but never really adding anything to the conversation, unfortunately. But at the same time, this is what's going on Joe Budden podcast. Those are my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think about what AD had to say? Let me know in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike. This is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.